Hi guys, my name is Ethan. This is my second video that I will be recording for the second week. Today I read, or this week I read the book On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I know it's a very popular book and a lot of people know it, and it's been on my list for a while, but I went to a thrift store and I got it, and it was, I guess it was fate, because here I am 200 some pages later, and now I get to share my thoughts with you guys. So I have a lot of thoughts. I would say my first thing that I want to talk about is the beautiful language. I'm sure many of you guys know, but Ocean Vuong is a poet, and that means I've never read any of his other work, and I do intend to read his other work, but Ocean Vuong and his way of writing is just something that I've never read before in a novel, and in the way that he tackles the different proses. And I wish I can describe it in a more eloquent fashion. However, I guess I can just read you some of his passages. I did mark one specifically that I really enjoyed. That was in the beginning. It's on page 12. It's in the last paragraph of that page. He says, "You once told me that the human eye is God's loneliest creature. How so much of the world passes through the pupil, and still it holds nothing. The eye, alone in its socket, doesn't even know there's another one, just like it, an inch away, just as hungry, as empty." The sentence itself speaks for itself. It's just such beautiful writing. And then he does a callback the page afterwards, and at the last sentence of the chapter, he says, "Which is why I've taken God's loneliest creature and put you inside it." Right? There really isn't much I can say about that. He's just such an amazing writer. Ocean is, and a lot of the pages and the chapters and every sentence is built like that. Just beautiful prose. I can go to just a random page and probably pick out something as beautiful as that. Even the way he describes different places in time and different places geographical in location is just so vivid that allows you to be inside the intimate experiences of this narration. Now, in one of my classes, we talk about creating and writing impactful narration in nonfiction and or fiction. And one of the biggest parts of that is being able to dive deep within the experiences of the people themselves, of the person that is narrating or speaking. Now, the reason why this is because when you're writing, you have to explore the depths of one's souls first before you can truly understand the impact that another character might have with another person or with the narrator or speaker. Yeah, especially when you're trying to write about someone you love or someone who deeply hurted you. If you aren't able to describe your own, characteristics and how that their love or their pain might have fitted into your heart, then the reader will never be able to really understand it until you go deeper within the surface level. If that makes sense. Yeah. I'm reading from some notes as well. Ocean Vuong does an incredibly good job in doing that. I also kind of want to dive into specific characters and using this technique, or not technique, but this idea that I just expounded upon about describing yourself. This entire book is a letter to his mother, and his mother feels like I mean, obviously he's alive, but his mother, like, you feel like you understand so much of her through his own perspective, which is an amazing feat as a writer. But it's not only the mother that we understand, right? We also understand Lan, who is the grandmother in the book, and her struggles in Vietnam and going through the war and then coming to America. Or Trevor, who is one of the bigger protagonists, or one of the bigger characters in the middle of the book, which impacts the rest of it. In regards to Trevor, and this is kind of like not a warning, but I guess a warning if you're not into like more intimate scenes within books, because I know there's some people who don't like to read that type of stuff, which is fair. I couldn't help but feel the beauty within those scenes, if you know what I mean. Like, when you have someone that has the ability to write as well as Ocean Vuong does, and show off, you know, how people would feel in those moments of where you guys are merging your souls with one another, you know, those intimate moments. It doesn't feel gruesome. It doesn't feel, you know, like barbaric, like some writers could write it. Well, it obviously depends on the type of feeling you're going for, or the type of tone or mood. But Ocean, even though the two characters are so complex in their own identities and what it means to, you know, have sex with one another, right? It just feels, just the way he wrote it just made it just, I don't even know how to say it. He's a good writer, damn, okay. To reference, another thing that I would like to talk about is the mom, and I brushed upon it a little bit before, but the mom character, and actually a lot of the women characters within the book, reminded me of a saying in Pachinko. I don't know if I'm gonna get it right, but it's in Pachinko, if you've never read it. There's a sentence that says that being a woman is suffering, or they have a fate of suffering, especially within these times of war, right? And you really feel that empathy and understanding that that the speaker has towards their mother. And even if the mom has their own flaws and their own pains, it still becomes like, you know, a powerful moment. Let me read what I said too. I said, and the pain of motherhood and the pain of being a woman. If you couple that with the fact that they're now in a new world, and now we're not talking about land, we're talking about world, because it's like different cultures, different languages, different people, and the way they look. You might say that, yeah, it's just a different country or different continent, but it really feels like this is a different world itself. You were able to understand through the speaker the mother's pain and the mother's struggle through that. Yeah, the pacing of the book is great. I thought the pacing was amazing. It really goes through pretty methodically, the different stages of the speaker's life, from when they were a child to where they approximately were at the creation of this book. And the fact that we were able to understand so many key parts of their life through the characters makes it so easy to read. I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a beautiful expression of a person, and I recommend a lot of people to read it. Now, the last book I'll be right there that I had read, it's for sure different from this one, and it feels kind of unfair to put them on the same scale just because of like the differences in terms of how the audience is, I guess. For me, Honor for Briefly Gorgeous, I give this book probably a 4.7 out of 5. Like, that is amazing, and I would recommend anybody to read it if you so please. But yeah, if you haven't already read it, just please let me know what your thoughts were. Yeah, thank you.